But with that, I will turn it over to you, Bonnie, and let you introduce your co-panelists. And you are muted.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the beginning. So Project Index, make your open source project visible. I'm Bonnie Wolf, the Executive Director for Hack for LA and a Western Region NAC rep. My other co-panelists, can you unmute and introduce yourselves, Thad?
Sure, I'm Thad on the core team at Code for Boston, and I've been helping out a little bit on this Project Index, and I'll help people with the Zoom rooms.
Melanie?
Hi, I'm Melanie Masnick. I'm the co-chair of the National Advisory Council.
And Chris.
Hey, I'm Chris Alfano. I was one of the original founders of Code for Philly, and now I'm just a senior advisor. And I was also a founding NAC member, and now I just hang out on Slack.
And there are a lot of other people on this call, including Gio and others who have helped bring this project into fruition. And they will, and we are grateful and will continue working with them, keep moving us forward. So the agenda today is we are going to ask you to rename yourselves. So for instance, I'm going to do mine and just do add a dash with the name of my organization, Hack for LA. I'm just going to put .org on mine. And if you would all do same, we would appreciate it. This will be relevant later. And then the overview of what our project is about, what Project Index is about, and then review of kind of the sub-projects. And then we're going to do Q&A and then breakout rooms. Okay, so the problem statement here, yeah. Okay, problem statement. So anybody within or outside of Code for America can start a civic tech project, but it's hard to find projects and they compete for resources and people make projects and then other people make the exact same project at their brigade. It's hard to figure out exactly who is doing what inside the brigade network, much less outside of the brigade network. In the wider civic tech community. It should be very, very easy for Code for America to say, we have 5 projects that deal with food insecurity, or we have 10 record expungement projects. Ideally, they would know more about it, like what the status of each of the projects is, etc. And this shouldn't take a lot of labor. There should be a system for cataloging all of this and keeping that information up to date. So the goals of our particular project are that people can find projects based on several criteria: topic, location, technology, and status. And people would be able to find these projects to contribute to. And before starting a new project, someone could check and see if a project already is being done in that area, reach out to them, etc. And then obviously anybody who wants to publicize what the Code for America Network is doing, the Brigade Network, could do that easily. And then ultimately that we would be able to attract volunteers specifically to our projects based on topic areas through this listing. So we have 2 approaches. One is that, there's basically a data set, the index, right, which people can contribute to in a variety of ways. So that's the back end, a database with a comprehensive schema, because it's not enough to know, that there's 10 food projects. That's a good start, and that would be better than what we have now, where nobody really knows unless you start asking every single brigade. But it's not, the ultimate. The gold standard would be a database that has a very comprehensive schema and a crawling process that keeps that information up to date, but that the data lives with the projects itself. So it doesn't have, people don't have to go and enter them someplace specifically. And then a GitHub hosted workflow so that people could add to the database wholesale if they want to, etc. As well as being able to query it. And then we need some front ends for that. So systems that include user interfaces to enter and maintain project data, or to search on criteria, kind of like we already talked about, and then a map to display the organization's projects and locations. So here's how you can participate in this project. By the way, a little history. The slide that's missing from this is that we haven't told you what the history is. So the history of this project is it was started long ago, kind of, again, shrouded in the mystery, in the midst of early brigade history, with the civic tech.json file format. in Summit of 2019, I basically said, hey, we should formalize this and get the brigade network to agree on a standard with Code for America, and then we should all start using it so we could build this. And several people said, that's great, let's form a team, and we did. And so we've been working on that since then. So a full year and a half of meeting, sometimes once a month, sometimes twice a month, and a variety of projects that have come out of that to make this a reality. So we'd love you to participate. This movement's getting bigger and bigger. So this is how you can do it. Joining one of the initial initiatives, and there's a related slide for that. Join the co-organizer team. That's the team that meets every 2 weeks on Wednesday. It says XYZ time. I apologize. Melody, when is that meeting? Wednesdays on...
I want to say 6 p.m., but let me check the calendar and then get back. I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you. That would be like 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, that is when it meets. So that's every other Wednesday. And then volunteer to champion one of the initiatives that's under championed right now. There's so many different moving parts to this. We need a really good taxonomy, and there's a lot of great pieces that have been collected, but we need someone to champion that. And that means basically you're the person that takes point on it, and when volunteers are interested in working on it, they can come to you, and you will help get people up to speed and get people on to the next step. And then working on a public code.yml wizard. Public code.yaml turned out to be the most progressive standard. It's being used globally, and we're going to accommodate all different file types that have data, but public code.yaml would be, if you haven't created a format yet, that would be the place when you want to start. And then you can spread the word at your brigade and add data to the index for projects, and ultimately provide marketing help. Okay, so projects based on the index. There's basically 2 of them we're going to talk about today. So project 1 is Melanie.
So this is the Code for America Project Index Search. This came out of kind of last year at Brigade Congress. Some of you may remember the status boards. It was just a map on the screen intended to kind of show which brigades had already made their projects visible in the index, and to kind of hopefully peer pressure more people to make their projects visible. And then this year in the spring, obviously the pandemic hit, and we had kind of this influx of volunteers who were wondering, what are people working on? What's happening around this? And we didn't really have a great way to show all of that. So luckily, the project index folks were like, wait, this is what you can use. So I've been working with Ryan Harvey, who was also on this call, and Tom Dooner also, to work on a new React front end that is just kind of a simple MVP to show a listing of all of the projects that are currently in the index, and then to allow people to search through them. So we can do, if you'll allow me for a moment to share my screen, I can, okay. I'm going to share it for just a second to show a live demo of the project index.
There you go.
Or of this particular search. All right, here we go. So this is projects.brigade.network. You can find it. And so let's say I'm looking, I want to see all the budget projects. So I can type here in the filter, and I see there have been quite a few budget projects, and this is just the last year. So I could say I want to see all the budget projects for all time, and we get a few more. There have been quite a few budget projects. Or say maybe I want to see, let's see, all of the Python projects. So this is all Python projects for all time. You can, again, filter Python projects in the last month. We can also look at projects by brigade, and we can see that they're, so currently we've got all brigades. We can kind of zoom and see, oh, I just want to see the brigades kind of over here in the Pacific Northwest, and see those projects. So this is an MVP. It's new. It's still under active development. We would be very happy if a React developer or two or several would join us. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so we can get back to the presentation. But so yeah, come find us in the Brigade Project Index channel if you're interested in working on this. It is new, and it is ready to have new features built. So if you're a React developer, please come join us.
I know this is really silly, but I lost the window that had the slide deck on it.
Do you want me to share?
Oh, no, I found it. Never mind, I found it. Let me
Okay.
share it again. Sorry. Okay, share screen. Which one is it? This one. I think it's this one. Please let it be this one. Okay, wait. Bring your window to the front. Okay, hold on. Too many windows. Yes. Okay, that's it. Great. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So, hold on. Can I, the get involved page, sorry. I just want to highlight here, React devs, designers, UXers, like we could use a project manager. So if you'd like to come work on this, we'd really love to work with you. We are currently, it's a little bit slow moving because it's a lot of people who are a little bit short on time. But we really would love your contribution, and you're welcome to come open, pull request issues. Feel free to get in touch with me. My Slack handle, you can find me at my name, Melanie Mazanek, and you're welcome to email me at melanie.mazanek@gmail.com. So thank you. All right, Bonnie?
Thank you. Okay, project 2 is Civic Tech Index. So after we started doing the work, one of the things that happened was that I started talking to other groups like Code for All, and they said, we want the same thing. We want to be able to index all projects. And we started looking at like, what were the first initial steps that we would need to do? What were all the different ways that we could catalog? And that's how we ended up with, public code.yaml is the gold standard. But one of the things that came up was using topic tags on GitHub. And as part of this conversation with larger audience than just Code for America, it seemed like what we needed was a global catalog of all open source civic tech projects. It wouldn't be complete, it wouldn't be comprehensive, but it would just have every project that's a civic tech project. You could find them all, and then you could use their topic tags to search for things like food, and at least you could narrow it down and then start reaching out to those projects. So that to me seemed like the minimum viable product. And then a more comprehensive database is what is the ideal and what we should be shooting for. So Civic Tech Index was born. So the goal to create a comprehensive searchable index of all civic tech open source projects. So a lot of people have said, why hasn't this been done before? Like somebody's done it before, right? And there have been many attempts to do it, but it's really hard because if you make it comprehensive, you have to collect a lot of information before you can even get the thing into the index. And then you have that, and you got to keep that data up to date. And then the person who runs the index has to let people know about it. Otherwise, somebody else will create another index, which will compete for people to spend their time entering projects. So how is the Civic Tech Index different? The wizard only takes 2 minutes to use and makes use of GitHub's built-in topic tags to improve project visibility and connect open source civic tech projects together, providing a framework and making it easy for people to search the index just based on these topic tags, and demonstrating the power of it. That's what the website will do. So I'm not going to take you to the website because I'm a little bit concerned about time, so I want to just use some screenshots here. So homepage basically features trending topic tags, filtering out org names and other tags not related to topics. I'll talk more about topic tags in a minute. And it features prominent users of the Civic Tech Index and links to all of its contributors in the blue button. So if you clicked on that all contributors, you would see unaffiliated and affiliated contributors. So unaffiliated are people like Democracy Lab, Civic Software Foundation. Affiliated contributors are people like Code for All, Code for Africa, and Code for Tanzania. You'll be able to dive into each contributor by clicking on that. And one of the things that you'll get when you use a topic tag, so for instance, Hack for LA has a lot of projects that are not inside of our own repo. So if people just come to our repo, they will get a misleading idea of a number of projects. And the older the brigade is, the more that's true. So Code for Philly, Open Oakland, etc., have all of these projects that are in other people's repos or in their own GitHub orgs. But by using topic tags with the name of the repo, we can tie them all together so that when you click on Open Oakland, you would end up getting the list of all of their projects. Again, the same thing is true if you use public code.yaml or civic or CSV file, you could make that happen. But let's look at how you can add your project to the Civic Tech Index. So first thing it asks you, is your project affiliated with an organization? Answer yes. Then which organization? In this case, Code for Tanzania, and then that's the repository URL. And then find project, it goes and it looks at GitHub and it says, well, what topic tags does this project already have? This is an open API, very easy to use. So this particular project only had one topic tag, which was hot meal. So we asked, do you want to add more tags? And then it basically allows you to add tags. Sorry, they're very slow moving. Okay. Oh, then what it will do, this first version of it, is it will add a bunch of tags that you didn't actually ask for. So let's say you, in the last question you asked for tags for food insecurity and food pantry, but you did tell us what the name of your organization was. In this case, Code for Tanzania. So we added Civic Tech Index, Code for All, Code for Africa, because we have a database of all of the organizations in the Code for All network. And so we're looking to see, if you said you were from Code for Tanzania, what related organizations should you also be tagged with? And that way, somebody like Code for All could put a link on their website that just displays the index based on who has Code for All. Or Code for Africa could display a list of just projects that are in the Code for Africa subset of Code for All. And then the new topic tags that the person themselves wanted to add. And of course, everybody using the Civic Tech Index tag that ties it all together. And this basically is just a super basic tutorial that shows you how to add topic tags to your project. A future version of this is that it will also use the GitHub API to, if you have the right permission level, to change the tags for you. But that's not MVP. And then we have a search function, which includes searching by language, affiliation, open issues, last updated, location created. These are all things that GitHub already collects. That's what we're doing. We're just using the GitHub API to search for the projects. So it doesn't accommodate projects that are not on GitHub, like that are on GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, or just simply in Google Docs. But it does accommodate the majority of software coding projects. And then, as you can see, this is kind of what the results would look like. With the topic tags that are about affiliation that we're recognizing from our database being put in a separate section, and all of the other topic tags being there. I'm gonna skip that. So want to join the Civic Tech Index team? It's a Hack for LA team, and we are looking for experienced developers with, or even inexperienced developers for that matter, with React and Django knowledge, experienced data science person, database architect, front-end developers, UX designer for conducting interviews and testing, or UX researcher, a video content scriptwriter, and marketing and manager coordinator. We meet twice a week, and those are our meeting times, and that's how you can find us, which is on the Hack for LA's Civic Tech Index channel, and there's a self-invite. So our breakout session today is going to be a tagathon, so anybody can tag projects. Even if you don't have admin rights, you can basically open an issue. We'll walk people through that. Here are the 3 breakouts. So Melanie, will you talk about your breakout first?
Yeah, so this is for brigade leaders. It's managing your brigade's source of truth. So I think by default, most brigades, it's using your GitHub organization. But if you wanted to use a CSV or JSON file or GitHub tags instead, this would be for any brigade leader or person who in their brigade might be empowered to go ahead and decide kind of where your projects live, where the list of them lives.
Chris, will you talk about breakout 3?
Yeah, this breakout is for any curious civic hackers that want to see how the code or the data actually works under the hood with the index. So we'll walk through the architecture of the system and how data flows between various projects, and how you could even build your own project that plugs into the index data.
Cool. And my breakout, as I mentioned, is a tagathon. If you have repo access, you'll be able to tag your projects effectively. If you don't, we'll show you how to make issues on the repos to ask the repo admin or maintainer to add the tags, etc. So now would be the time where we make use of the fact that everybody knows how to rename themselves, and ask you to rename yourself with the breakout room, just the number in front of your name, dash your name, and then we'll be able to slot everybody into the appropriate rooms. So for instance,
and just for clarity, in case you have a new version of Zoom, you can just pick the room you need. But if you don't, you won't get the option, and I will assign you based on your name. Thank you. Sorry, Bonnie, did you have more?
No, I think that's it. I just want to check the slide deck and make sure that they're, oh, so yeah, that's it. So everybody do that. And then if you could start assigning people, or however you want to do that.
Okay, once again, if you didn't get something that popped up to let you choose a room, then just change your name according to which Zoom room you would like to join, and I'll move you over. The button might be along the bottom. Okay.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
And I'm going to share my screen now so you can continue to see the breakouts. Thanks, Bonnie.
See you guys in the Tagathon.
You're always welcome to join the Code for America Slack. I think it's Slack.
I can Google that.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can send me that, that'd be great. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'll Google that.
I'll
I
post
see
it.
it here. If
Excellent.
you can post it, that'd be wonderful.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's just a Google form that you fill out, and then within a
I
few
see
minutes,
it.
you should get an invitation.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. I think we're all back now. So I just, before we go to Q&A, I just wanted to highlight that the Black, Indigenous, People of Color room that's going to be open in the next hour is really set up for Black people that identify as Black, Indigenous, People of Color. And anyone that is not self-identifying in those ways should stay in the first room, which is going to be lightning talks. So thanks so much and welcome to Q&A. Please ask questions in the chat. Oh, thanks, Tom.
Does anyone have any questions about any of the projects? We're sorry we didn't do questions before. We kind of flubbed that. We needed a Q&A slide.
Yeah, why don't you all talk about what you did in the rooms? Just a quick, like 1 minute each, and then we can wait for questions if there are.
Sure, Melanie, you want to go ahead? You're on mute.
Yeah, we went through the how to add your brigades, how to change your brigade source of truth on the index. I'm going to drop a link in the chat right here for the documentation on that. It is a little bit out of date, but it is mostly covers it. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to hop into the Slack channel and tag me there, and I can help you walk through it.
So the Civic Tagathon, we did tag a couple of projects, but we also identified how to tag projects when you're not didn't have admin access to the repo. And there's a variety of ways. One is opening an issue. The other one is just to identify the tags like Civic Tech Index, Code for All, Code for America, and then whatever your brigade's going to use, like Code for ABQ. And then post that in the Slack channel that y'all have, asking all the project leads to tag their projects if they want them to be represented by the index, meaning if there are projects they don't want anybody to see, then don't tag them. That was it. It worked great.
Yeah, in breakout 3, we started with going through how the index's crawler goes through the organizations.json file that Code for America maintains with a list of all the brigades and civic tech organizations and links to their project lists. And then how the crawler goes through all those organizations, goes through all those project lists, and then pulls out even more data from each project's repository and things like publiccode.yaml and readmes. And then how the crawler compiles that all into the index and distributes that over GitHub, how the taxonomy can overlay on top of that data to bring similar projects together, and how you can pull the index into your own project either via GitHub or via the static JSON API.
Thanks, Chris. So any last call for questions? Did anyone figure out how they could plug in? Did you get the idea that the unifying kind of reasoning for this whole project is all about making it easier to see what all the other brigades that are all around me in the background here are doing, and all of the projects they have, and how we can share things that are similar to something we're doing with another brigade across the country. So, and even around the world at other Code Fours and Code for All. So thanks everybody for your time, and I'll see you in future sessions.
Thanks, everyone.
And
Thank you.
And I pasted into the chat Brigade Project Index, which is the CFA Slack channel that we're all operating under. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, everyone.